Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boys from For Those With Good Taste. I'm Matt, he's Lenny,
Tell me who's hot, who's not.
and we've got a jam-packed episode for you guys today. We're talking about Red Notice.
We got the Eternals.
We're talking about Hawkeye.
We've got Shang-Chi. We got a little bit more of that Coxman, that Daredevil. We got a little Jurassic World, some Matrix, some
dude,
Spiderverse.
Hey, dude,
What's up, man?
could you save it for the episode?
Sorry, man.
Yeah, you're giving it all away.
I was excited.
I know, so am I. But they gotta watch the episode.
All right, man.
All right, guys.
Stick around.
As you can see, Mr. Spoiler over here ruined everything, but we've got a bunch of stuff to cover with you guys today. So you got to strap in, get yourselves ready, and lock in, because we're about to jump in the shit, because it's going down.
See you on the other side.
For those with good taste.
Hello, tasties and tastettes. Welcome back. Matt, how the hell are you, buddy?
Dude, I am so much better now that I'm here with you. It feels like a lifetime ago since we've been here.
Dude, I have not seen you in so long, and your face has just got me aroused.
That's, what do we usually say, from 6 to 9? You got me from
No, it's midnight.
Is
It's
it?
midnight.
Sorry, I obviously can't tell time.
Nine's a stout semi-chub.
That's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Yes, late semi-chow.
Your pants are full.
No, man, nothing feels better than being in Good Taste Studios with you, talking about some shit, dude. And we've got quite a bit to catch up on, don't we?
Yeah, like where the hell or when the hell did you get a North Face, dude? You conformed.
My grandma.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
I won't
grandmas are
insult
the best, dude.
They are great.
I'm going to tell you what.
Love my grandmother.
Best thing, though, is I would imagine my grandmother was like, I want to get him a North Face, but I don't want him to sweat, so give me the thinnest North Face that you have, and that's what I'm wearing today.
So that's just a windbreaker. There's no insulation?
I don't even think it's breaking any wind, dude.
No? You feel
I think it's
everything?
feeling all the wind, my guy.
So I love your grandmother. But here's my only beef, dude. What's the purpose? Keeps you dry when it rains?
I don't know, just to let people know that I can afford a North Face.
I like the color, dude. You look like an expensive Lamborghini.
Thanks, man. I was feeling very vibrant, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep this bad boy on.
Nice.
But not to... I'm not wearing it because I'm a Red Sox fan. I don't want anybody to get that mixed up. All right, I see you wearing the Red Sox hat.
I'm not a Red Sox fan either.
You forgot about it, dude?
I just like hats.
No, I thought it was interesting because MLB's in a lockout, dude. We leave for a couple weeks, and the sports world starts to go to shit, dude.
Yeah, everybody comes to us for this reaction. So, yeah, man.
Everybody's looking for it, dude.
You know what's actually fucked up is one of the reasons they're in a lockout is they want more games.
Yeah.
Like
162 is not enough games, dude. We're trying to make it 180.
Well, so they want... No, actually, you know what it is? Correction. They do want more games, but they want more playoff games. Isn't that what it is?
That's a nightmare, dude.
I think they want to add a whole other round or two into the playoffs.
No, they've done a good job with making like the wild card playoff interesting. Like there's this one game playoff between the two wild card teams. They start adding more teams, it's not going to be able to have the same juice, I think.
You know what I think they've done a really good job about, Matt?
Nothing?
Is literally making no one interested in their product.
That's pretty much what it is.
Because I don't think people actually care about this either.
No, everything in baseball just shows you what a bad business model looks like. And I can tell you one example. My beloved New York Mets.
They spent a lot of money.
Dude, they've spent like $500 million, and they did it a week before a lockout started.
Well, that was probably smart. So you know why they were doing all those? This is the first time MLB's had, in a long time at least, they've gotten people to sign that quickly. Basketball has like a big free agency period. Football
not so much. Football's not that big in free agency,
right? But baseball used to. Like, remember like. There was like the winter meetings and all that shit, and like stuff would pop off and everything.
It seemed like every summer, Hot Stove and like the MLB network was popping, dude.
Yeah, I think the thing was this year, because they knew they were going into a lockdown and they're not going to be able to sign people during that period. They wanted to allow people to move to whatever cities.
I see what you did there. Okay.
So they a lot of teams overpaid just to get deals done now to accommodate, or I don't know,
overpaid is an understatement, my man.
If your rotation and again, take this with a fucking grain of salt.
We won't spend too much time on this.
I imagine your your starting rotation is like going to be the best of all time if it stays healthy.
So to bring it away from baseball to take it into like the NBA, it's like they were explaining that Max Scherzer, a 37-year-old Max Scherzer, by the way, who they gave $135 million to.
I didn't know he was that old.
So crazy. They said that adding him to the Mets is the equivalent of adding like KD to the Warriors, where like the team was already very good. They had a lot of great things in place. The bad part is the Warriors were winning titles without KD. We haven't won a title in God knows how long. So
yeah, you can't say you're adding them to a championship.
No. That's what I'm saying. So like it's that big of an impact where it's that big name going into a market that could really use the name. But we don't have a Steph Curry. I guess you could call Jacob deGrom our Steph Curry. But
yeah, he's hurt all the time.
If they do figure out how to get back on the diamond, it should be pretty interesting what they're able to pull away with.
Well, let's segue us back to what we normally would talk about here. Whose roster do you think is more expensive? Is it the Mets starting rotation or the cast of Red Notice?
The cast of Red Notice.
Yeah.
Dude, The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. We'll just say those two. We won't even take it to Gal Gadot. They make enough money to completely knock out any baseball team, I'm sure.
The Rock by himself probably earns more than like a professional league.
Did you hear him say that he wants to be in every single movie that's released in the year 2023?
That just seems like a dumb statement.
He said he wants to be in every single movie.
It's
insane to me.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't seem like a goal you should want to have.
That people don't work on the same days that he works?
I don't know. But he has his own private jet, and he's just wasting the mileage, dude.
He's killing the world. Fossil fuels and shit, man.
Well,
that's not cool, Rock.
You want to talk about spending money? I would say that Red Notice, we can take a look at it. Hopefully Stack Guy can pull it up. But how much money do you think that they made off of this movie?
It's this goes, but you know what the problem is, man? This goes back to something we've talked about before, where who are we getting this information from? Because I'm pretty sure every single thing that comes out now on Netflix is the most watched Netflix thing of all time, and I know they told me this is the most watched Netflix thing of all time.
They did.
So
most watched movie, whereas like Squid Game was most streamed series.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like it's like every time a movie comes out, it's the new most watched thing. Like that doesn't mean anything when that last Michael Bay shit that came out on here, Project 6 or like
Project Underground.
Yeah, is that what it was called?
I'm hoping so.
Fuck,
we don't have anybody to stat check.
God damn it, that guy.
Yeah, I know, but when it's the company that is putting out the content, they can say whatever the hell they want. Nobody can check their numbers. Like even if you work for Netflix. Let's say you have a comedy special. You can't find out what your viewership is like. They're just like, hey, take $20 million and don't talk to us again. You don't really know your worth.
The most amazing part to me about this is I feel like the general consensus of people around me day to day is that The Rock isn't as interesting anymore. Right? I don't think for me personally he's as interesting. His movies feel very cookie cutter to me at this point.
The word oversaturated comes to mind.
Exactly. And now he wants to be in every single movie that comes up for a whole year. It's
not a goal you should have when you're already in everything.
But isn't it really weird that like these are where the stuff that doesn't ever line up for you, right? Like, and I feel like this always happens with Hollywood where they can just make like you could hear everybody hates an artist, but still they're the number one, like, there was a point where that was probably Bieber or somebody else like that. But in this instance, I feel like The Rock gets hate from most people around me, but yet it's still the number one thing on Netflix.
Do you think that it's almost a no-brainer to pair him up with someone like Ryan Reynolds? Because Ryan Reynolds is probably quite the opposite, right? Like he gets a lot of love. I think fans adore him. Maybe in a sense, like you put these two together and it's the perfect concoction.
Well, Hollywood now is like a basketball, like how the NBA is. However, like you just said, like KD joining the Warriors. Like everybody wants to build a super team now. And I feel like that's kind of what Hollywood is in a sense. Because the shit I loved growing up, right? I talk about it all the time, the 90s, like action movies. Those were
the golden
generally,
age.
If you go back and look, a lot of them did have more than one star in them. But generally, it was that one
or two.
The one action star on the cover, and then there was a cast that was behind him, and those were the big budget, like huge movies. I guess like dramas, things like that have usually had more of an ensemble cast. But
your action films.
But like now, you make every action movie, at least for The Rock, and I think Ryan Reynolds is now joining this because Ryan Reynolds has been paired up with Sam L, with Denzel, with The Rock.
I thought you were going to keep going with
on.
that.
There's more. I got a little like burp going there for
all
a
right.
second. I had to catch myself.
You're good.
And now you have The Rock, who's had Kevin Hart and this and Vin Diesel and whatever.
And he's had the who's who, right?
Everything is
everything.
building a supercast now, and that's to me what this movie is, and that's why it is the number one thing on Netflix, or it was. I mean, we're a little past it now, as far as us talking about it, but that's what it's got to be, right? Is like, it's smart. The Rock knows what he's doing in that regard. He pairs himself up with another popular person. It's generally a person who's quick-witted.
And then you throw on top the fact that they get probably the most popular female, like,
one of them,
star out there.
What, and it's not even just popular. I think credible would be a good
sure,
word.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
Like, she's a bona fide action star at this point.
She's also endeared to fans right now.
She's fucking Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
time.
Like, she's about as ironclad a female action star as you're going to get.
You know,
maybe her and ScarJo. Well, are we missing any? Let's run
there's
through
quite
that
a few
real
of them
quick.
out there. So you've got, so you said Scarlett Johansson.
I think Florence Pugh.
Brie Larson.
Okay, but what does she have outside of...
No.
You know who I'm thinking though? Naomi.
Naomi Watts.
No. Charlize Theron. Naomi.
Okay, I was like, wait, yeah. So Charlize Theron, she can do
definitely
anything, and she's out there. Yeah,
she's definitely
big time.
an action star.
I don't know why I said Brie Larson.
I just can't think. You might be right. I just can't think of anything she's done outside of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. Female action star.
That'd be a fun question for the fans out there, for the tasties and tastettes.
Yeah.
Who is
your female action star?
Yeah. Who is the most like credible, most bona fide female action star? I mean, I definitely got Gal Gadot and Scarlett Johansson leading
definitely
the way.
out there.
Charlize Theron is a legitimate
front runner for sure.
How about this one? Recently came out with a movie, Halle Berry, maybe.
Halle Berry, did you watch that movie?
No.
Yeah,
No.
Wife got me stuck watching that movie.
Come
Yeah, we don't need to get into that.
dude.
Halle Berry's up there though, original
I watched
Catwoman.
the 1 minute fight with her and Valentina Shevchenko, and it was, whoa. Oh, Jesus.
You okay?
She was like, what was Halle Berry doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
She was like falling over and all this weird shit. Like, MMA just does, like, the only time that MMA has really translated well is that Jonas Brother TV show.
Yeah, I get that.
You know?
Yeah, and you don't think Warrior did well?
It's I don't hate the movie.
I enjoy
but
the movie.
The fight sequences are
Okay,
very much like everything with that is it's wrestling.
Left
match.
hook, right hook, left hook,
It's
right
hands
hook.
down.
Yeah.
It's the Rocky montage shit.
time.
You know, like and I love Rocky movies too, but like Rocky movies are great because you love the character just as much as you love the fight sequences being over the top. So
Yeah, but getting back to Red Notice, all the stars aligned for it to be a big film. But when you look at like some of the numbers, like I see a number like box office, $2 million estimated. How is that even a calculation when this is something that's direct to streaming? Like, did it come out in theaters?
There is the potential that it was released in a small amount of
Theaters, okay.
screens. You know, I don't know that.
But a $200 million budget. And I would imagine, what, $140 million went to the top 3 cast? Maybe that sounds about right. Like, it's not crazy.
Yeah, I mean, based on the CGI, there's one scene at the very beginning of the movie. I don't know if you remember this, but it's when The Rock is getting into like a fancy sports car. Yeah. Now, why they couldn't like these rich people can't get a real sports car, but you cannot tell me that is not the fakest.
Oh, it didn't, and that's why the scene didn't last too long.
It looks so crazy.
No.
Like I'm like, why is he getting into a fake car?
Well, that's why they shatter it immediately.
Yeah.
Like, no spoiler, but the car doesn't last very long and he has to move on. But it was interesting. A lot of this film, the visual effects, the scenery. Oh, look at this island that they're on. Look at this castle that they're about to blow up. A lot of it seemed more about the environment than it seemed like the hand-to-hand combat. There was a lot of hand-to-hand combat, but
there wasn't
a lot
of
it was big
action
into
that stood out to me in
No.
this. I as always, I think I'm a Ryan Reynolds mark, so I think I'm going to typically enjoy what he does. Outside of Detective Pikachu is probably the only thing I haven't really loved that he's done, as of late, at least.
Yeah, okay. I'm okay with that.
But this very much felt like The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds were just put into a bunch of fake sets, as like any movie obviously is, but like this looked more like that, and we're just like, hey, use your natural charisma to make yourself seem likable, and we're gonna just chew up scenery and make a movie. And I think that's what a lot of Netflix action movies are to me in a way. I think do you agree that there's like a hollowness to an action movie that's released on a streaming service.
You said the
versus-
word already. It's cookie cutter,
Yeah.
right? That's something that we're seeing.
Play the hits, right?
Right, yeah. It's like we know what's going to be successful. If you're going to stream a movie at home with the kids and the family and you're looking for action, here you go. 1, 2, 3, ABC, and you've got everything that you need. We're obviously not jumping too much into a review or a spoiler. Did it pass the taste test for you?
It's plain Jane, man.
Yeah,
This was very mediocre for me. So, is it something that it's like tolerable to watch? Yeah, it's fine. It's The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. If you like those people, give it a shot.
Yeah.
If you're going there for a movie that you're going to want to watch again or is going to resonate with you in some way, I think you're watching the wrong.
It's not going to hold any substance for me.
No.
So not something I'm really
not
interested
very
in revisiting.
rewatchable, but it was fine for a one-off. If you got nothing to do on a Friday night.
Oh well, that almost seems like that would be the trend, at least for me, without tipping my hat too much. But let's talk about a movie that is obviously a couple of weeks past, but we haven't had an opportunity to jump in here and talk about it. And we're talking about Marvel's soon-to-be latest hit, The Eternals.
I don't know if you can say soon-to-be latest hit. Wouldn't if it's
Well,
already
I'm
been
gonna
out
say
for like 3
they're
weeks.
going to come out with something like that's. I said it wrong. You know what I mean?
Okay, I
They're
guess
coming
I
out with
understand.
something out. They're coming out
We
with
have
something
another
new
movie coming
soon.
out by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
It's
But
not
as of right now, it is their latest release.
Theatrical release.
That's not perfect theatrical release.
not a complete idiot.
Man, I told you earlier I took like 7 notes for this movie. Let's just start there, right?
Okay. So let's set the scene. This movie gave us a quick glimpse into in the beginning of time, there were people who were sent to Earth to protect it and to kind of cultivate the Earth. And we're introduced to a pretty star-studded cast with Salma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, Robb Stark from Game of Thrones, who played Icarus. We got Jon Snow. But outside of the big names, we didn't really know what to expect from the Eternals, right? At least I didn't, you didn't, and we kind of had to go into it with an open mind.
We're not going to stick on this for very long. So I had 3 questions that I wrote down first and foremost, and they seem pretty much to synopsize my thing about the movie, and I think we can generalize from there.
Okay.
So my first thing is basically a review. Good enough movie, comma, what did it do for the bigger picture? Okay.
It's a great question.
Do we care about seeing these characters again? That's a question.
It's another good question.
Third question. Does everything Marvel put out have to be a part of the universe?
Okay.
That's my final question. Now, I do have some comments that I'll make off of that, but let's just address that, right?
Let's stew on those questions for a bit.
I think let's go in this order. So it was a good enough movie, but what did it do for the bigger picture? Do you think this? And I think let's answer these 2 together.
Yeah, because I think you might even be able to answer all of them together.
Does everything Marvel put out have to be a part of the bigger picture? And to elaborate on that, I guess I mean, I found myself watching this being like, this would be a totally acceptable movie if it wasn't a Marvel movie. If it wasn't, not that it wasn't a Marvel movie, but it wasn't supposed to feed into the bigger narrative. And I know me and you have had this conversation.
We've revisited this conversation.
We've talked about this with Hey Archer.
Yeah.
It's just
being comfortable with things not being canon or not playing into the big story. And you've said a line that is really kind of resonating with me that I'm trying to get pinpoint accuracy on, but I'm going to have trouble with it. But you said, if we're able to just strip down the fact that this movie is just a movie and it has nothing to do with anything that came before it or have to do with anything that comes after, is it a good film and could it hold up and pass the taste test? You do that with this film and it's not a terrible film. If you go into it with no expectations and you're not expecting to have answers to questions that you really have no business having because we didn't know who these characters were up until a certain point. I think it's a good movie, good enough movie, great point on your end. It doesn't play into the bigger picture. Unless Thor or somebody is flying over the ocean and we just happen to see a landmark in the ocean that I'm not going to spoil for you, but I don't really see how it plays into the bigger picture. I don't know how these characters are going to be relevant in 2 or 3 movies from now.
I see how, in a way, it fits in, but I think my question is more like, does it have to? Because if you take out the forced... I think I could lead the Avengers comment that's in the trailer, and then you also take away post-credit. And I guess this is where people would tell me it has to be tied in, because the introduction, and 3, 2, 1 spoiler, I don't think this is a big deal.
Yeah, we'll do it. It's been out for 3 weeks.
The introduction of, what's his name's brother?
Thanos' brother.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, but maybe just don't introduce that character. right? Like if there's this many Eternals, and I don't know.
The only thing that this has any relevance towards, Len, is that it helps us identify what Thanos was, because the Eternals gave us a great depiction of, okay, there's these celestial beings. They're the ones that create the universe. They're responsible for all life on Earth and the universe. Sure. Cool. Can totally understand that. From Asgard to Aslan, this is what we have. When they talk about the deviants, they talk about superhuman beings that have more power than your average human or your average earthling, whatever. But then they also talk about their need to conquer or change and alter the universe. That gives us a direct idea of who Thanos was. Thanos was either a deviant or he had some type of affiliation or came across a deviant, because it helped him understand that he had to make a change in the world. Now, some people will look back and say, maybe Thanos was right, maybe Thanos was wrong. But that's the only way that this is relevant, is you can give us some type of backstory to who Thanos was and how he came to do what he did. But Thanos
is that important?
But
now?
it's not. And this is what I'm saying. It's not important after we get that explanation, because he's not tying into the further story.
Yeah,
we've had the final snap. We don't really need anything else.
And I think this is where the third question and why I wanted to separate it out kind of comes from, right? And it's like, do we care about seeing the characters again? And I think within context, my answer is yes. And I wrote 2 comments down here, right? So I wrote that I liked that they had real emotions to deal with. Yep. It did feel authentic, and I found myself liking these characters in a way because there was some attachment they gave you there. And no offense with this comment, but this is just how I made it easy for myself to remember. Sprite and the gay guy's storylines are believable.
Okay.
And because like you can get
even Kamal Nanjiani's character.
Yes, yeah,
100% relatable.
And so this is where I'm like, would I like to see these characters again? I think I kind of would, but I don't necessarily care to have it under the context of like looking for answers and post credits for the bigger picture. Like,
anytime we're about to drop a theory, we have to drop the 3, 2, 1 spoiler. But the only way that I'm interested in seeing the Eternals again is if they can somehow tie an explanation to their existence with Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. Mm-hmm. Because the post-credit that we get at the end of Shang-Chi is, we've never come across any technology or any weapon like this. So where did this come from? Who's going to know? We don't know, and maybe that's how you tie it all together. Yeah. But
so
who knows?
Maybe, okay, that does answer, like, open up an avenue here, is like, maybe the reason you include all of this together is so that eventually you can have unique and interesting combinations of characters that you didn't think you would get before, right? Yeah. So like getting Kit Harington popping up with other people across the MCU, I guess we'll get people somewhat interested. Yeah. You know, I would almost have a wait and see with him, because separate question, do we overestimate how big of a star Kit Harington is? Is it just like because of Game of Thrones, we just associate
we've missed it. He's missed the boat several times. So he came out with the Pompeii movie.
Yeah. Pompeii is
I like it.
Is people hate on it? I think if you go watch visually, just watch the movie for the lava and shit.
Not a bad film. Pretty fucking so I didn't hate the film. They actually brought back some actors that I like from other shows, but we just come to this point where I think as fans, we have to get comfortable with the idea that all of our questions aren't going to be answered. And if we go in to take this content in without looking for these answers, we're going to enjoy this content more. Because I think, I haven't watched this movie for a second time, but I think if I did, I'd probably be able to sift through all the bullshit and maybe just invest a little bit more in the characters. Yeah. One question I'd like to know is, how did Kamal Nanjiani just get to not participate in the final fight, and we're just okay with that?
Yeah, just no fucks.
He shows up at the end like, hey guys, we're gonna go fix some stuff. No, bitch, you
bailed on us.
You bailed on us, bro. Put your little finger pistols away. Hilarious.
So the taste test, I think you have to look at it in 2 lenses, and I've said lenses a million times now.
It's okay. I'm okay with it.
As a standalone movie, I think it is passable, and I would want to watch it again. I'd be interested to see what I missed on a first viewing by watching it again. Comparatively, though, and they've done this to us. We can't just like the movie. We have to compare it to all of the other stuff that's come before it. And now, to your point, what's going to be coming a couple weeks from now, in Spider-Man, it's got to be towards the bottom tiers, right? Like it's
yeah. It's Thor: Dark World.
It's an ever evolving. It's better. It's better than that.
It's
better than Iron Man 3. It's better than Thor.
It's fallen in those pools though, because I am not gonna.
It's muddy water, man.
It is muddy water, but I'm not. To me, we have to have a division of 3,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to have your top tier, your mid tier, and your bottom tier. And if
you don't think they're at the point where there's so many movies that they would have more than 3 tiers?
Yes, but we can't spend that much time breaking them up, dude.
It's a whole video in itself.
Yeah, like if we wanted to do a top 20 terrible Marvel movies, sure, we could probably do that. But of movies that come to mind, it doesn't fall in line with Black Panther. It doesn't fall in line with your Thor Ragnaroks. It doesn't fall in line with your Guardians 1. Maybe even your Guardians 2.
It can't be put there. Yeah.
Right? So then we start getting to the middle tier movies where we go maybe Iron Man 2.
We've got to move on. But I do want to just like at some point the conversation's also going to be, maybe this is like maybe we need to add a third into this conversation, whether it be Hey Archer, D, one of them. But at what point do we start separating how we're ranking this too? Do you start ranking within phases? How do you start doing this? Because
it gets muddy, even muddier.
You can't compare the Eternals to Guardians 1 because the way we perceive things is so much different now.
The way it's all strung together is different too. I understand. So
that's where it's just such a complicated conversation. So it's a conversation for a different day. You had brought up Shang-Chi. We have now got it announced, I think yesterday, that we're going to be getting a sequel, which we all kind of assumed.
We assumed because it had done so well that it would get a sequel, but the news behind getting a series is also kind of interesting.
So I didn't read about this at all. I did see a headline about it. Do you know, is this going to be full cast, or is it going to be like focused on Aquafina or something?
So the way that I read it, seems like it might even be like a little mini series between the two of them, with some slight introduction of the sister, because that's one of the bigger questions from that movie is how is she the new Mandarin? Like, is she the new criminal underworld leader? They did kind of
set it up at the end of the...
So we get some questions answered there, hopefully, with this show, but I'm interested.
Do you... best way I can ask is, how familiar are you with like the Pitch Black franchise?
Oh, Vin Diesel. So enough to know that it tied in, 4 movies?
So there's... This
Chronicles
is what I was
of
going to ask. There's
Riddick.
And Pitch Black. So 3, and then there's an animated. And what I was going to say is the good thing is like they've done with that franchise is in between major movie releases, they'll release like an animated version that fills in some gaps as to what Riddick was doing between the end of Pitch Black.
Kind of like a Clone Wars thing for Star Wars.
Sure, exactly.
Okay.
Like, do you think that when you bring up like the Mandarin, is she the new Mandarin? Is that maybe a way for them to tell that story to get you to the movie? Is like, would people be more interested in getting a little background as to where she's been, and then you come back with the second movie and it's like, now you really give a fuck about her being the Mandarin?
And that's something that Marvel's done really well with their Disney Plus features, right? Like their series are doing really well being able to give us some of those filler episodes. But it does beg the question, what would the direction be of Shang-Chi 2 then? Because we'd have to, maybe we do all of the character background in the show and then reintroduce her as this big villain. But is there a fear of giving too much away where maybe we don't have enough interest? Maybe your building of the character isn't successful and that second movie isn't able to kind of feed off of it.
I feel like Shang-Chi, it impressed people enough that if you strike now, like it seems like this was announced quicker than I think a lot of their sequels and spin-offs have been. I think if you strike now, between it being just a genuinely good franchise and also it having the uniqueness of an Asian cast, I think it's automatically going to have interest. I think
definitely.
they're going to have people that are loyal to watching it. So I think they could play it out however they honestly want to, whether they want to go larger scale and pair him up with other characters or if you want to continue telling his own story. I'm excited for it. Like I think he's been the most pleasant surprise in the last few Marvel releases for me. It's been this movie.
Yeah, so his movie was able to kind of stack up to some of those greats that we talk about. So
it was in its own unique way.
Yeah, big time. Delivered 2 types of movies. I said that in the past, but I really enjoyed it.
Hey, dude, guess what?
What, dude?
We have more Marvel to talk about.
Oh, we got a shitload of Marvel to talk about.
It just never stops.
It's
the hits keep coming and they don't stop coming. Hit to the ground and I just said hit 6 times in that song.
You nailed it, dude. I think you said hit, dude. We're bringing the hits. But Marvel's also bringing the hits, dude. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they know when something's working and it ain't broke, you don't fix it. And we got an announcement from one Kevin Feige himself announcing that Charlie Cox, our Daredevil, is making his return to the MCU. How did you take this news, dude?
I'm excited because I think he's one of the. Well, we've said in general. I'm sure
We've blown it up, bro.
that a lot of that cast was very well done. Like the people they've chosen for those Marvel series deserve to keep getting a go at it because they weren't. I don't think it was ever like, hey, the shows on Netflix are a problem.
No.
Like I don't think anybody ever really actively complained about them except for
Iron Fist,
and they didn't necessarily love the Defenders. Right?
Fuck those people. Defenders is great.
Defenders wasn't bad. I think.
Genuinely enjoyed it.
I feel like you just said fuck you to Hey Archer. So
Hey Archer knows how I feel.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to say the words. He knows how I feel about some of his opinions.
his takes.
Yeah, some of his takes.
Yeah, man. So
cold takes.
This, I
I'm throwing fire, dude. I don't give a fuck. Come see me.
Yeah, Defenders wasn't bad, but he kind of launched it all for me. I know what Jessica Jones came before him. Am I wrong?
No. Daredevil kicked it off. I'm pretty sure. So
stats guy.
Legit have one job, dude.
Stats
don't sit there and be ugly. Like, do your work.
Yeah, he's ugly as shit. Man fell down the ugly tree and hit every branch, brother.
Timeline. I think it's Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
See, they're both the same year though. Jesse Jones and Daredevils.
No, I know that, but I'm pretty sure Daredevil kicks off the universe.
Okay. Hey, if you say
because
so, my brother.
They introduce Rosario Dawson's character, the nurse, in Daredevil, and then she shows up in Jessica Jones.
See, I thought it was the other way around.
No.
I've never watched Jessica Jones, so don't.
This is the shit I'm talking about, dude. You're making me argue with me and Stat Guy for no reason at all.
I've never seen it.
Piece of shit, dude. You're a conspirator. Actually, you know what? I'll save that for later. So yeah, I was excited because we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, maybe months now, about Charlie Cox wanting to get in on the rumor mill and kind of ride on the bandwagon hype for No Way Home. So the fact that Kevin Feige's coming out and saying yes, he's coming back, we just don't know in what capacity. Could be something on Disney Plus. It could actually be Spider-Man No Way Home. We have no idea.
Well, so interestingly enough, Matt, you just mentioned Disney Plus. I am not watching, but you are watching, and I think that we can talk about it freely and not care. So,
really?
Hawkeye.
Daredevil.
Do you think that that's the route that we're going to be seeing him, or do you think that Spider-Man is the route we're going to see him?
I'd like to think that we're getting breadcrumbs all over the place that are going to eventually lead us to the big cookie, if you will.
No, I don't know what that means. Who's the big cookie?
Dude, the big cookie is us figuring out if all the rumors about Spider-Man No Way Home are actually true. But do I get to spoil stuff? No? Can we? 3, 2, 1, split?
I think in this instance, it is okay to talk about the fact. Because even this is hearsay anyways. I'd like to point out, I know...
Yeah, it is hearsay. It's theories.
This isn't... and we can't spoil something I've never seen, so I've not watched a minute of Hawkeye. Yes. I just want to be clear about that. What are they, 2 episodes in? 3 episodes in?
3 episodes in.
Never seen it.
Okay.
But I did... So I think it's okay to talk about this, but if you want to bring up the possibility of what's going on in
So I'm going to go
series.
no spoiler on this. Outside of this theory, we're 3 episodes into Hawkeye. We've had a deep dive into Kate Bishop's character. We're getting to see her at her true potential as a Hawkeye potential replacement.
As an archer.
Hey, Archer. The thing that is kind of teetering in these first couple episodes is that there is a person behind the criminal underworld that has not been named, hinted to. But if you're a fan of the Marvel series and you kind of know the storylines behind it, there is a possibility that the one Vincent D'Onofrio, could be making his return as Kingpin. So we're talking about Charlie Cox coming back as Daredevil. One of the best parts of that show was his opposite and being able to really go toe-to-toe with D'Onofs. I'm really excited because I'm hoping that it does happen, but all signs are pointing towards it.
Yeah, so, and I think it's almost like everybody has an opposite to each other, or like the yin to your yang, so to speak.
Yeah, sure.
And that's where I find myself questioning what's more interesting, because I think every time we've gotten Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio together, when we've gotten Kingpin versus Daredevil, it's been great.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Some of the best scenes in the TV series were the two of them fighting.
Yeah.
But
their character dynamics are
it's
incredible.
what we were just talking about with Shang-Chi in a way, where it's is the good part about this, and even the Eternals, is it the possibility of seeing you outside of your universe, partnering with those other people? So is it more exciting to see Charlie Cox pop up opposite of Spider-Man or doing something like that in that franchise versus popping up on another TV series somewhere?
Yeah, and I'm okay with us keeping them apart. I think the idea of having them exist apart from each other would be ideal because then it gives you so many different avenues to take. You don't just have to coexist with each other to kind of make it in the MCU. It makes perfect sense for the kingpin of the underworld to play a massive role that just has nothing to do with Daredevil.
Yes, sir.
Right? So it'd be interesting to see.
Any quick thoughts on the No Way Home final trailer that we got here? And were you one of the millions and millions of people who tried to buy tickets to opening night and now that are going? Have you seen the prices those tickets were going at?
No, that's insane.
Lenny,
you know me well enough to know that I'm not kicking down the door to get their opening night.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it open night either. I'd also like to confess I have not been going to the movies nearly as often recently.
Wow. Yeah, that's something we haven't really been able to discuss, huh?
There hasn't been a ton that's gotten me like super excited. So the last one, and we'll get into it in a little bit, is Resident Evil. Aside from that, though, there's nothing that's really jumped off the screen for me.
Yeah, I know when I checked in with you last time, I was like, hey, did you see Eternals yet? And you were like, nope, not really in a rush to get over there. So I can kind of understand where you're at, though.
I got in there.
Do you think that's just an unfortunate result of the fact that there's been kind of like a lull in the movies that have been released, and maybe there are going to be some big releases towards the end of the year / in the new year?
Well, it's always going to be perspective because, like, Ghostbusters came out, for instance, and I know there's a fan base for that. Now, actually, we've mentioned it a couple times already on here, but Hey Archer, they just Rambling with Anthony, I know their show there, they just released something. I haven't watched it because I have not seen the movie, so I don't want to spoil it for myself. But like, there's definitely an audience out there for some of the things that are coming out right now. This Is Gucci looks like a great movie. Like, I just haven't.
And
it's
I know
not
you said
something
that you might have want to watch it.
I think the thing that's tough for me, and we've beaten this topic to death, but it's like seeing that something's 2 hours and 20 minutes and looking at like, okay, I got out of work at 6:30. By the time I get to the movies for a 7 o'clock or a 7:15 movie, timing it out with the trailers and everything, I'm not out of there till 10 p.m. And it's like, honestly, this sounds nerdy as shit too, but I'm like, I want to play video games.
And it's not even that. Like, video games, I think, really gets a bad rap because people don't understand that that's just a great way to wind down.
Yeah, I just would almost
finish out your day.
We all have so much shit we watch or listen to. So we all have a million podcasts, or we have a million YouTube videos that you watch. So I have like a lot of stuff that's outside of TV or movies that I routinely watch.
Yeah, content
right?
heavy.
Like, there's stuff on YouTube that comes out every single day that's an hour, either 30 minutes or an hour long, that I watch. So,
and there's only so many ways that you can take in all this content, right? You can passively take it in while you're playing games and stuff like that. But if it's something that you want to focus on,
well, and it's the focus. Like, and a lot of the times it's like I can play a video game while doing that. Me and you've been talking about Tropico 6. Like, hot tip for anybody who has a PS5 out there, it's $20 right now. I love that game. But that's a game that you can passively / actively watch or listen to something on your phone the whole time.
Yeah, if you're wondering if I got honey-dicked into buying another game, you are correct.
Yeah.
It's
but I only find the deals for you.
Okay.
But yeah, so Spider-Man No Way Home.
You asked me what my thoughts were on the final trailer. I didn't leave the ending of that trailer feeling any more excited. Even more so when it's pretty obvious that they doctored some of the footage to maybe not include some elements.
People from
like, and by all means do that. But to me, I'm like, why even show me this is my issue with trailers. And you're a huge advocate of saying I don't need trailers to make a movie better. I can do without a trailer. Or sometimes movies can just be trailers and they'll be interesting enough. This trailer didn't really do anything for me. If anything, it kind of upset me because you're giving away things pretty blatantly without trying to. Like, to me, you spoiled the cake without trying to spoil the cake.
The only thing that's a bit confusing for me now that I don't necessarily get the math on is, like, we're doing the Sinister Six thing right here, and they show us what I believe to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, 5?
It's only 5.
But then, we've been discussing, is Venom 6?
No, can't be.
But then you have Morbius, right? Yep. Who is also in line now with Kevin Feige.
Keaton.
Keaton.
Oh, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton
Yeah, sorry.
is in there, so you have the potential of his character, right? So I'm just doing the math, and I'm like, where is the 6th going to come from when I can see a proponent of up to 9? And now, are we at the point where we're a little oversaturated on the amount of fucking villains? And maybe that's a whole side question, but this is the thing with the trailers, is it is giving away a lot. And I think, dude, you know what would be fucking awesome? Is the movie comes out in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Right?
Give or take.
It would have been so great to walk into this movie having never known a single thing about it.
Yep.
Like never having read it about Tobey Maguire.
Dude, I'm
or
over.
It's
It's
just
exhausting.
Yeah.
Because at this point now I'm asking myself, how many people are going to show up in this movie, and how are you not going to fuck it up?
Yeah.
Because all signs point to you completely fucking this up, either rushing a character being shown, not giving a character due diligence or enough credit in a certain scene. There's so many things that you can get wrong that by looking at this trailer, you've already kind of tipped your hat to me.
I
know what to
hear
expect.
you, but the thing is, we're talking about a movie franchise now that has shown that they can do the grandiose, that they can do the larger than life and get it right. So that's where I'll entrust them with a huge cast and a lot of moving parts to give everybody their fair shine. That's one of the things I'm least worried about.
Really?
I just think these surprises would have been so awesome, man. If I didn't know that all of a sudden Andrew here's the one. I'll use this as my example. Fast and the Furious. Going into Tokyo Drift. I had no idea. Like post-credit, I think maybe we hoped at the time, but the internet wasn't what it was.
When Vin Diesel shows up at the end?
And like
spoiler alert.
Like they had done the first movie, they come back with the second, and it's like Paul Walker. I like that. Everybody loves like Pocket Stand Empty because
everybody thought Tokyo Drift was going to be a drifter, right? It was going to be something that's not really part of the series.
Like you go through, an hour and a half, and it's like completely different, and then the next thing you know, like Vin Diesel's fucking back, like he's fucking back, and then the next
in
movie,
his muscle car,
like in that movie, you walked out of it being like, holy shit,
like what are the possibilities?
And
after
that's
this?
even how it used to be for like the original Marvel post credits. When you think about it, when that wasn't like what you were going to the movies for, because that's what I go back to on a lot of these things is like, are we just watching shit for a post credit now? We watched a trailer and I wrote a note down about it, and we haven't gotten to the trailer yet. Are we cool, people at home, if I just bounce around on some shit? Because my mind's going where
we might as well,
to.
dude. Yeah. No structure today, folks.
It goes along with the same thing now where, like, I watched the Matrix 4 trailer, right? Yeah. We watched it together. And all I walked away from that being like was, what? Wow, I actually am excited to see this movie. But by the end of the fucking movie, it's not going to be a resolved ending. It's just going to be a setup for another movie. And are we all okay with the fact that they're getting us hyped up? And maybe I'll be proved wrong, but I can't envision a way that this movie looks this good and that they're not going to try and make more money off of it.
Yeah, no, they definitely are.
So, like, when I look at this shit and I'm like, yeah, they've oversaturated the cast, and now they've done so many marketing gimmicky things by like teasing, like not confirming, but teasing the 2 other Spider-Men, giving us all like these characters.
Spider-Man.
Stupid. The characters that you're bringing back from previous universes, the tie-ins with like Charlie Cox, and it's like you've used every marketing thing possible when you never had to.
I genuinely hope that the characters that were omitted from this trailer are Charlie Cox and Venom. I hope it's not the 2 Spider-Mans. I hope all of this was a fucking loop and everybody gets thrown and we don't even get this whole Into the Spider-Verse. Just for the simple fact that, to your point, it would have been great to get all this. Now, I just kind of want to see it go up everybody's asses at this point.
Yeah, and just not get any, because they're like, we never told you. Like, you made those like
You've
ideas
made the
in your
assumptions.
Head. They told you all along it wasn't going to happen. It is just, it's a little bit like some things would have just been left better in the dark, and this is why I've refrained from so long from watching trailers, right? Like,
fuck ourselves, dude.
Yeah, no. Now I'm committed to the game. I'm a trailer breaker.
No, we're in, dude. We're content creators.
The biggest thing I do every week is talk about fucking trailers.
It's what gets the people going. It's provocative.
Yeah, so we barely talked about No Way Home, and I think we basically got our point across there. Did you have any additional thoughts on Matrix 4?
No, man, you nailed it. Matrix 4, I didn't care about the second and third movies. This trailer looked awesome. It
looked pretty good. I don't care about Matrix.
I came away just asking myself, how are you going to do all of that in one movie? It just didn't make sense to me.
It's just they're gonna build this really cool idea because I have to watch the trailer again because everything with that franchise is kind of confusing.
It was going all over the place.
Yeah,
pretty sure there was sharks.
Was there?
I don't know, dude.
What the fuck?
I don't know, digital sharks, bro.
Yeah, I'll have to check the trailer out again, but that's basically the main consensus I came away from Matrix 4 with was like, you're just gonna get another one.
You're gonna get another one. They're gonna milk this cash cow.
It'll probably be fine. Keanu's good. Like he's on a roll right now.
Listen, dude. Whether it's the Replacements, right, or it's Hardball, you give me some Keanu Reeves, I'm down for it. Okay.
It is something to be said about staying in your lane though, and I feel like right now Keanu Reeves has found his lane the same way Vin Diesel found his lane. It's like just do the same characters a few times.
Let me shoot some stuff.
Because if you like Vin Diesel's like, okay, I've made 2 Fast and Furious in a row. How would you? He started now floating things out about Chronicles of Riddick. Like he's like, hey, some really cool things going on in the Riddick-averse, and then it's gonna be like, oh, you know what else he did yesterday? He also posted a thing that was like, what was your favorite scene from this movie? And it was The Last Witch Hunter.
Oh my god!
Like,
I'm ashamed to say I watched that movie. I'm ashamed to say I watched that movie.
I bought the Steelbook. I've never watched it.
Bro, Anthony Hopkins, Frodo Baggins, Vin Diesel. It was a no-brainer to watch,
do you
dude.
like it?
It's not a good movie.
You should comment on this post that he made, dude.
Bro, I got 20 minutes in the 3 times that I tried watching it.
I might be upset if, for those with good taste on Instagram, has not commented on Vin Diesel's Last Witcher with our favorite scene from the movie.
I did not.
You could just do what you just did. Anthony Hopkins, Frodo Baggins, Vin Diesel. That's
all you need,
That
dude.
should be the tagline for The Witcher, dude.
Bro,
The Last Witcher.
It's
The
money.
Last Witch
It's
Hunter.
money bags, dude. But it did not deliver the goods.
No.
It's unfortunate, and this is what has happened. We've gotten ourselves so excited that when things don't deliver the goods, we turn into some cynical, criticizing assholes, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably going to be no different, dude. The Matrix 4. I'm not hyped about it, but I might watch it. You want to watch it together?
Yeah, that's
Probably
fine.
do that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually thinking we could also plan a little IMAX Spider-Man No Way From Home on a Tuesday, maybe.
I'm not going to IMAX with you.
That's fair.
I'm not going to IMAX with
So
you.
you just want to go to a bum-ass movie theater?
No,
then, or-
we can go to Dolby.
Okay,
You
how
want
about
to go
this?
Dolby Atmos?
How about you go to your own theater? I'll go to mine. We FaceTime while we watch it. We'll just
If I
look
go,
at each
I'm going to
other's
IMAX
reaction.
by myself.
Okay, and I'm going to go to Dolby.
No. Let's switch. You have to go to IMAX. I get to go to Dolby.
The other day, I was talking to somebody about my issues with Dolby and IMAX, like in regular everyday life, because I'm a psycho and that's what I do. And the dude was trying to tell me, he's like, no, IMAX has the Dolby. I'm like, bro.
No, yeah, see?
Bro, you just don't get it.
This is where things, like, you shouldn't mix certain things. Actually, okay, this is where I needed to circle back around, and I'm going to do it. How do you feel about Waterparks, Len?
The band?
No,
They're all right.
no, like amusement parks with water.
Water Country.
Water Country. Okay, you're familiar with Water Country.
You want to talk Water Country?
I don't want to
or
talk
do you
Water
want to talk
Country.
about the Cannonball the Yankee Cannonball at
Nope.
No.
I want to talk about a little place in your favorite
Waterwiz?
state. Nope.
New Hampshire.
New Jersey.
Ugh.
I know you love New Jersey.
The grossest water in the world.
You
You're
love
going to
New
know-
Jersey.
You went to a water park in New Jersey.
I did not. But I watched one of the dopest documentaries on HBO Max about Action Park in New Jersey.
Oh,
What do you
okay.
know about
So
Action Park?
Action Park killed a bunch of people died there.
Bro, over 15
I know,
people died
I know
there.
about Action Park.
Over 500 injuries.
Yeah, people were
Bro.
getting launched off the slides.
The best part about this documentary is that not only
might
do
have
they
seen
give
this.
you footage. Oh, you need to watch it, bro.
I honestly think I've seen it.
Okay.
Is it brand new?
Nah,
'cause I think
it's
it's a couple-
this year. It's 2020.
Okay, 'cause
It's got to be
it
last
feels
year.
like it was like a pandemic thing, maybe.
It might have been. I went down this whole rabbit hole of Max original like documentaries, and this documentary, from the animated depictions that they make, the little colorful drawings of people getting messed up on their rides, to the actual footage and newspaper clippings that they have about this park. This guy was so fraudulent, he would have people sue him. No insurance company would cover him. He created his own insurance company. And then when people sued him and won, he refused to pay them.
What was the Johnny Knoxville movie?
The
The one that just came out like 2 or 3 years ago. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. Give me some.
I didn't see it. I just know the cover. The cover is him in front of an amusement park, and I just want to know if it's Action Point, is what it's called.
Oh, so this might be loosely based
I think
on
it
Action
is.
Park.
I think it is.
Ooh.
So see where it says is Action Point a true story? Right there.
Okay.
Click on that. Is based on a true
In
story.
the 2013. The most insane. Yeah, that's based on that. Okay, so I need to see that.
There you go, my man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
but
Action
dude,
Point, everybody. Johnny Knoxville.
Class Action Park is the name of the documentary on HBO. Definitely recommend watch. To find out that over 15 people died is crazy.
This must be where I learned
about the documentary,
and that's why I know what you're talking about. Is probably when he was like doing promotion for this.
Yeah,
I probably got interested in some way.
So
but I never saw the movie.
Yeah, the best part about all of it is that they have like people give real life accounts of when they went to Action Park as a kid. Some people are famous, some people want to be famous, and you can tell the way that they're delivering their interviews. They're like, oh my God, I saw this guy bust his head open, and then a propeller was under his neck, and I had to push the guy off the boat. And it's just like, you're trying to get signed. I get
somebody
this.
Actually get a propeller in the neck?
Bro, you need to watch it because they do motorboats. And motorboats or bumper boats for us is like, oh, you're going like 5 miles an hour. No, he had Cuban, like, Miami drug boats, little mini boats
swimming behind.
No, you're stupid. No, he had little like drug cartel boats, speed boats that could go 60 miles an hour. And somebody hopped over someone else and landed their boat on top of someone, and the propeller was almost killing the person.
That's some shit you'd see in like a shark. You remember
that's some Final Destination
what's
shit.
that?
Sharknado?
No, it was the 3D one. Piranha 3D. Was that what it was called?
I didn't watch that one. But no, I know which one you're talking about.
Piranha's 3D. Can we just look up a YouTube video really quick? Piranha's 3D for me. It's good because I feel like it's just something like that, like where they're getting attacked by these piranhas and a boat just launches up out of the sky.
Well, that's pretty much what it was, and they do just a little depiction in like animation. It's hilarious, but then you realize it's like, no, like 15 people died at this place.
Yeah, let's click this top one real quick. Just so people know what we're watching, because I'll get flagged if I put this probably in the
we're not in the video. Put it
up. But it's the feeding frenzy clip from Piranha's 3D. Unfortunately, my co-host is a broke boy who still doesn't have YouTube Premium. So
who's the broke boy? You haven't logged into YouTube Premium on this damn computer.
Yeah,
asshole.
Well, FTWGT doesn't have it. We have like LENNY has it.
Dude, stop throwing your government stuff
Look
out
at this
there.
thing. She's getting eaten
Ass
out.
First,
Ass
dude.
first
That is awful. Piranha's 3D. I remember when this movie came out. This is like 15 years ago.
Less than that, but it's
really.
I believe so. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. But
no, because
remember there was just
like the shark one.
There was just the late 2000s, early 2010s that was just like, let's do shark movies in 3D.
Oh man. No, this was one of those where
it was
just so ridiculous. Everybody's getting ass munched. Piranhas,
dude. Little fucking piranhas, dude.
Just imagine being there. Like all these people on the boat trying to pull people out.
2010.
That's crazy, dude. No, this documentary, I definitely recommend it, man. Like between the great commentary and the fact that this entire amusement park that served alcohol, by the way, was run by teenagers. 15 and 16-year-olds running rides, giving you alcohol boost on your scabs and itches and all that stuff, dude. It's a great documentary.
Do you like Adventureland?
Never been.
Well, not the place. It's a movie.
No, never heard of it.
It is Kristen Stewart, Ryan Reynolds, and Jesse Eisenberg, I believe.
So not Zombieland.
It's like a 2009 movie.
Adventureland. Why do I feel like this is a bad movie?
I'm so good at years, dude. 2000. Who knows the years?
Sometimes
that
you nail it,
movie
dude.
Comes out, and I got the cast.
I do remember this movie.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds was banging Kristen Stewart,
but she's like underage.
Yeah, but she's underage. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
How did he dodge that bullet?
I don't know.
Nicely
good
done,
for him,
Ryan. Yeah, good on you. Actually, a good movie, but just one of those sad movies where it's like, oh, you're best friends with this girl. You guys are obviously perfect for each other. She's banging a 30-year-old married guy.
They've done a couple movies together, haven't they? Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart, because they did. It was like they're out for a night together.
She's out of my league.
No, that's not Jesse Eisenberg. Why would you just click on Jesse Eisenberg? Let's go with him.
Because he probably
Thank you,
has
stats
less...
guy. Movies. Just click on movies. See at the top overview. Movies. Let's see if there's a thing on the.
So
front
you can get
me.
years, but you can't figure out the damn name of this movie.
Oh, American Ultra. I was right. To the left.
Never
to
seen
the
that.
left,
No, I know.
Everything you own in a box to your left.
Is that a good movie?
I feel like they've done several movies here. It's all right. It's a little weird. Really quick before we gotta stop here, what's another trailer? Oh, Across the Spiderverse. You got fucking horny to a kids movie. It was weird.
I don't say that, dude. That's how we get flagged. All right.
You did though. It was fucking.
You
strange.
say the C word and you say I'm freaking hopping on kids. Cut that shit out, dude. No, Across the Spiderverse. I got excited because the character that was shown in the post credits of Into the Spider-Verse or Into the Multiverse, whatever the hell it's called, Into the Spider-Verse, gets his shine. Spider-Man 2099, dude. Who you called Ultimate Spider-Man. I thought that was pretty disrespectful. It's fucking rude.
Yeah, see, I didn't share the same excitement for this that you did.
What's your beef?
I'm a big dickhead, and I don't like things that other people like. So I just didn't really like Spider-Verse as much as everybody
I knew
else.
this. Actually, I knew this, and I feel like you and I are going to fight over this, because to me, Into the Spider-Verse is probably one of the better... It's in my top 2 Spider-Man movies.
Cool.
I just made that up, top 2.
It's
Fuck
I don't
you,
know,
guy.
man. It's like...
You're a contrarian, dude. I'm so over this shit.
I don't know.
You know who you are, dude? You're Eric Cartman.
Sick. Did you watch the...
You're fucking right, I did.
So I have seen most of it, and I enjoyed...
You saw Cartman as a rabbi?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He was one of the best parts, dude.
Bro, I lost it when he's banging his wife, and he's like, oh yeah, you like how Abraham almost sacrificed his only son? And Kyle's like, nobody has sex to Jewish things like Abraham. And it's fucking hilarious, bro.
Them as adults, to me, was just like the funniest way to take it. like the fact that they've all, like, seeing where their friendship has gone.
And the fact that the pandemic lasted 45 years,
yes.
Even better.
Yeah.
It's so realistic. But this is another win in the book for me where I chalk it up and I say South Park can do no wrong, because I had very low hopes for this movie, nailed it, and they set up another one.
So
it's great.
How am I like Cartman, though? Can we just clarify this?
Because you're a piece of shit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So when his youngest child goes, fuck you, Uncle Kyle, and he's like, all right, that's better. That's you. You're an asshole and you're a contrarian. So when Cartman just goes against the grain and just says he doesn't like something because other people like it, i.e., I don't know, the new Terrence and Phillip movie, that's exactly what you do. Into the Spider-Verse, from an animation standpoint and from a storyline standpoint, amazing movie.
So I think...
And you're a dick.
When I saw it in the movies, I came away underwhelmed with the animation. At certain
Why can't
points,
you just be whelmed?
Because it looked like wannabe 3D at points. This was years ago that I watched it.
You're a dick.
And it hasn't had anything that's made me want to come back and like rewatch necessarily.
So
that song though, I'm with.
Obviously, it's a great song, which is why it makes me upset that you don't like the movie. So the trailer did nothing. Trailer did nothing for you.
It looks good. I mean,
it's the first peek that we
Gwen's
get.
Hot, bro.
Yeah, that was weird, huh? I saw you get excited.
Yeah, Gwen's hot. Man.
A little bit of knock on the table there.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. Good shoes.
Part of the. It's trailer. Not okay that animated characters get us turned on. Is that weird?
No, because remember the whole thing about the bunny from Space Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sexualized her.
Yeah. Well, like they're mad because we would, not me, but like people.
Our generation
would jerk off to her.
Yeah, that's a weird thing that you would do, dude. No, I do think it was weird. Maybe I was already excited by the time Spider-Man 2099 came up.
Yeah, well,
I thought it looked pretty dope. I thought it looked pretty dope.
Dude, she looks good in and out of her costume. I don't want to like harp on this for too long.
I'm pretty sure she's underage, dude. Don't do this. You're better than that, dude. You need to take it easy.
He looked older.
Bro, in the first one, he's in high school. He's in a uniform, and he's wearing high waters.
Yep, this one, he had a better haircut.
He had a growth spurt.
Older.
Yeah, no.
But he was still grounded.
He was looking
That's
fresh.
A good point.
Bro, he was still grounded. Got his spot blown up for drawing a picture of her, and he's like, yeah, I missed you too. Great freaking trailer, man. Yeah. The fact that you didn't watch it, you can kiss my ass. All right, Lenny, I know nothing gets you more excited than Gwen in the Spider-Verse.
Stefani.
But...
No, I just want Gwen Stefani.
Okay, yeah, no.
It's just after we've clarified the age thing. It's like
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
She wants mine.
Cool. Jurassic Park and dinosaurs. I know you love them.
This segue makes no sense. What were you doing?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Gwen. I love it. So yeah, Jurassic World.
Not my best transition.
So
I know they get you hot, dude.
They dropped a 7 or 8 minute prologue, which is kind of interesting.
Might as well just call it an episode. Yeah,
in that the movie's not out for another like year, basically.
Yeah.
But they they had time to work on this with the pandemic, it seems, and everything, and they have extra content. And I think it's a cool marketing thing as far as doing something this early out. And it's really just, it was kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? Where it's giving us context, and me and you both watched the director's
like narration over it. Yeah.
And that, I thought that was super informative as well.
I enjoyed that video.
Yeah.
Because
you don't get to hear, it reminded me, maybe when we were watching this, I said this to you, it reminded me of buying a DVD in like 2000 and
because
watching
you would
narration.
you would enjoy watching the movie, but the best part about getting those DVDs was being able to jump into the behind the scenes content, the making of content. You'd get the cast interviews, and one of the things that they did really well with this particular prologue is they just kind of reintroduced you to the dinosaurs in their elements. So you're getting to see all of the CGI done, and it looks really good.
Visually, again, this is just cemented itself as, I think, one of the best visual movies of all time, or franchises, not movie, but franchises of all time, in that the originals stand out for being looking
the
so
special effects,
the
being
animatronics
incredible.
and all the stuff that they were using and all of that. Now it's the seamlessness of like the CGI and how everything looks so clean.
They've taken state-of-the-art technology and have somehow made it better or made it look better, right? And that's something that you kind of expect with these studios, but that was something that I really took away from it. I'm a sucker for the National Geographic and Animal Planet documentaries, so being able to hear from the director himself, a lot of the thoughts and the processes that went behind making this film, and then getting to see, just some content that they had just created. Can you imagine how much money went into all of that?
I mean, I promise you it's not cheap. We can probably look at the budget for any of them, but don't care that much. The thing that this does in watching the director, I think it's important to hear the director narration because it sets this up, is this movie is primarily built, not the movie, but the prologue we've gotten here. It basically makes the T-Rex its own character, and he talks about how he views that T-Rex as its own character because you've seen it across so many movies, and especially in this Jurassic World franchise itself, it's played a big part. It's showed up and saved them from the bigger bad dinosaur.
Yep.
And
it reclaimed its throne as the big bad, so to speak.
And so you get to see the start of like the mosquito that starts it all, and then it leads to the T-Rex that's now out, and they introduce us to what I think we've all wanted for a while now, is Jurassic World, like the Jurassic Park and the dinosaurs introduced to the real world.
Yeah,
and
being
really
able to see how they coexist together outside of this this fake world that they've been made for. Because a lot of so many scenes capture my memory when you think about when we did see them in the wild. It's really them running away from devastation, right? Like we get to see the asteroid hit the planet type of scenery that we're kind of known with dinosaur stories. That island kind of blowing up, and then you see so many dinosaurs get left behind.
It's a really powerful scene.
It's really powerful scene, and it makes you really feel for anybody who's involved in that, like having to watch it happen. Watching this and just seeing the sheer amount, the numbers of creatures that they had, it was like, wow. So this is something that we're really going to be able to dive into and see how they're existing out in the wild.
Dominion, I think the first 40 minutes of Dominion is really good. When they're still at that island as it's blowing up and everything. I think it gets a little sloppy with some of the themes that it introduces in the house.
Yeah, when they leave the island.
And we'll wait to see how that kind of works out, because this is, again, what you were saying earlier about introducing a lot of moving parts. It's like we know that now you're merging together all of the different Jurassic World franchises. So we'll see how that plays together on a grander stage. But I came away very happy with this little prologue that we got. And I'll just throw this in there now as far as what to watch. The animated series did just drop their fourth season. I know nobody else who's listening watches it, but I will again bring up the fact
nobody needs to watch it with how well you synopsize it for us.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched it yet either. So season 4 at least. So
you've hyped it up enough.
I will again highly recommend it to people. I mean, 4 seasons, the episodes aren't long. It is still like a kids-based show, so bang it out pretty quickly. But it does give some interesting.
Stop badgering me, dude. All right, I might consider it.
Nope. I have other stuff I need to make.
Just
I'm
cut
gonna
it
make
out.
You watch.
I know, dude.
I have one in mind.
It's been so long that I've just been kind of waiting for this.
Yeah, I have a plan.
So we'll move on to our last trailer of the day, and it's one that we've talked about a couple times over the last couple episodes, and this is like the first major trailer that we've gotten, right? We've seen some sneak peeks, we've seen some teasers, but we get our first full look at John Cena's Peacemaker in his standalone spinoff, and it answered some questions, right? We get some dialogue between him and his dad. He's kind of addressing the fact that he got shot and killed. But we get a little bit deeper understanding of what he and his team look like and what they're trying to accomplish.
Matt, would you agree this is becoming kind of a surprisingly interesting looking series?
I hate to say it, but yeah. Like, I wasn't hyped for it, and I didn't want to get excited for it when we were like originally talking about watching the trailer. As I'm watching it, I'm like, ooh, might be something I want to see.
Not for nothing. John Cena comes off very likable in that 2.5 minute trailer.
I was afraid that this was going to be too much John Cena.
This is the perfect role.
This is a perfect amount of John Cena.
It plays to every. If you followed his wrestling career, it's funny how this plays into him so well, because he was this like massive baby face that like was always the good guy.
That's
right?
term for good guy. There you go.
The good guy.
Nailed
right.
it.
But he also was the guy who would make like dick jokes and like corny, inappropriate like potty humor.
I mean, if you want to talk about inappropriate, you would talk about the gear that he was wearing to every show, right? Like that's inappropriate in and of itself.
But that's why this plays so well is that like this is so over the top in terms of like the jokes and like the type of humor it is, but at the same time you have to like there's an appeal about like knowing that he doesn't come off like a bad guy even though he's not.
I think they address the elephant in the room, right? They call him corny. They address the fact that he's kind of out there as like portraying this character of being this person. So being able to kind of face that and then introduce his team, introduce some pretty interesting elements with him having to kind of change who he is, it begs you to want to invest your time in it and watch.
Yeah, so it doesn't come out till January.
Yeah, we've got some time.
But it's definitely got my attention, and I feel like it's going to be one. Is this going to be a release all at one time, or are we going to be getting weekly?
No, so if this drops on HBO, it'll probably be just like Titans was, where they do it weekly.
See, this is the thing.
They wouldn't do it all at
where
once.
they've just like they've switched up, which was so great about streaming. Like we brought up Marvel TV shows earlier. It was great that you would just have a Friday and they would drop 10 episodes for you, right? And
so they're gonna drop their first 2 episodes on. No, actually, no, never mind. So first episode comes out January 13th. Second episode January 20th.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that was the same day.
Listen,
See, that's a miss for me. I like when, especially Apple TV Plus does really well with this. The morning show, when they release their second season, you get the first 3 episodes of the season.
I like that.
So
enough to wet the whistle.
Enough to wet your beak, get you invested, and make you want to come back for more.
I'm with you.
Thursday night releases too.
Nonetheless,
pretty interesting.
This is good. I do see that's good. Variation, like I like that Disney does Wednesday.
Yep.
Like I like giving you something. This is where they've taken something. There's twofold, because I don't like that now we're back to weekly releases. We had gotten away from that with streaming, but I do like that they're mirroring TV releases where it's like you have days of the week for it, because you used to have to plan your week according. Remember that like 10, 15 years ago? It'd be like, dude, like I want to watch One Tree Hill on Tuesday, and then I want to be able to watch The OC on Wednesday.
You and I were watching very different things, dude. It's okay. I'm not going to knock it because I remember when MTV took over our lives, dude, so I get it.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm not going to knock you.
It's Thursday, baby.
It's Thursday. You're an idiot. But it is 100% true. And the fact that this is going to be 8 episodes and we're not going to at least get a bulk of it. If I'm going to have to wait every week for 8 episodes, it's going to be kind of tough. But I'm interested. I think I'm ready to bite the bullet.
This seems like a series that would have benefited greatly from me being able to watch it in one day.
Yeah, like Netflix. That's something that Netflix always has done well. When they drop something, they drop everything at once. They really just give you the opportunity to enjoy it. But then you're left just with like a gaping hole in your life.
But then you can rewatch if you like it enough. Like you get it, you can go right into a rewatch
rather than having to live with yourself and wait for another episode. Yeah, you're right, buddy. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for trailers for us. But, Lenny, why don't you share with everybody who's got good taste out there what you're going to be catching up on or what you're going to be watching this week?
Oh, man, I forgot.
All right, can I do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can just... Yeah, you go first.
So I had hyped up Money Heist on Netflix, so I feel like we're just giving Netflix free advertisement now. But they dropped, so Volume 1 was their first release, and they wrapped it up really well. But a couple days ago, they dropped the second part of Season 4, Volume 2, so I'll be catching up on that this week.
Okay. Yeah, so I had heard this is the final money heist. They're not going to heist any more money after this one?
They might not, but somebody else might.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
There's always money out there to be heisted, dude.
I would just add in the fact that The Rescue, a movie that we had talked about a few weeks ago, a documentary that is now on Disney+. So I'm going to be trying to check that out going forward. I am also going to be doing the Hawkeye thing because apparently we're watching Hawkeye.
You should, dude.
So,
come on.
I'll give it a go. And what I have been watching and will continue to be watching is Teen Wolf. Rewatch.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, for all of you out there that are really hot on the Teen Wolf bandwagon, Lenny will be here each and every week to let you know how much he loves it.
I'm already in season 3, so like I'm burning through it. But I just figured there's going to be a movie coming out next year, so I want to get a rewatch in.
I just feel like you love Dylan O'Brien, and anything to get more Dylan O'Brien is never a bad thing.
I mean, not to beat a dead horse here, but
that's what we do.
Watching him again on this, I'm like, dude, like he was, because I remember this. What got me interested in watching him in movies was this, but it is like he steals scenes. He's really good.
I mean, the kid's got talent.
Very, very good.
I call him a kid. I think he's older than me.
This was 2011.
So I'm definitely gonna watch The Rescue. I'm on a documentary kick right now, dude.
Are you?
I watched Class Action Part.
You want to be informed. I get it.
I also watched 4 Hours on Capitol Hill. I'm not gonna get into that. That's a very interesting documentary as well.
Jesus Christ. Dude.
Yeah, dude. That very intense documentary.
Right,
but The Rescue, I'll jump into that.
You'd have fun with that.
As much as I can.
And so outside of that, keep an eye out, guys. We're going to be releasing a preview for this weekend's MMA event, UFC 269, Oliveira versus Poirier.
It's a stacked card.
Yeah, great stuff.
Talking to you, Archer.
Yeah, in that video, guys, we are also going to be talking about some Jake Paul and Tyrod Woodley / the pullout game of one Tommy Theory.
Fumbles.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We had a Tank Davis fight this weekend. I know you wanted to talk about a little Teofimo.
Listen, man, we're talking all about combat sports in that little video, so you're going to want to make sure that you tune in, and you're probably wondering where you can find it. Well, you can find us on our YouTube channel, For Those With Good Taste on YouTube, but then we've got some socials. At For Those With Good Taste on Instagram. We've got
at Good Taste Live on Twitter. You can also find us audio version across basically any platform podcast are released. The podcast app on your iPhone, Spotify, iHeartMusic, Pandora, Deezer, These Nuts.
These Nuts for sure. Yeah, I thought you were going to leave that out, dude.
But yeah, dude, great to see everybody back this week. It's been a fucking blast. I know I've had a lot of fun talking.
You're gonna be doing more of that later, buddy. Yeah. My butthole.
I'm Tommy fucking fumbling my way through the end of this, huh?
That's all right, buddy. We're gonna get through. Brother. We appreciate all your support, guys. As always, make sure to drop a like, drop a comment, hit us in the subscribes. Let us know how you're feeling, and we appreciate you guys for sticking it out. We'll see you guys soon. Love you. Now go on, get the hell out of here.
Peace.
We're out of here. Boom. Wait, do this. Finger blast. Boom. Yeah.
That's I love you. And
for those with good taste.